let's welcome our guest. He is Honorable Jaji, Lanre Jaji. He is the president of the People's Parliamentary. Good morning, and it's always refreshing to have you on the program.
Good morning, my sister. Good morning, my brother. It's nice being here with you people.
Morning, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm sure you heard the caller we just spoke to talking about the 5-day ultimatum Wike gave street beggars in Abuja. Let's start there. Let's have your thoughts. What do you think?
Well, actually, one would have been very comfortable with that, Wike's pronouncement, because in the first place, these people are Nigerians. 5 days ultimatum will have been, too short for any preparation, even by any government or by individuals who want to evacuate him or herself from a particular place to another place. I mean, we'll have given a, bigger time so that, good preparations will have been there. Even if I were to be the governor of Ogun State and I have beggars, in Abuja, and Wike said I should come and evacuate them within 5 days, logistically, I'm likely to fail. I mean, it would require some, bureaucratic, attentions that, okay, I mean, who is the commissioner for special duties? I mean, what are we going to do? Are we going to send buses? Are we going to send planes? What are the logistics to be put in place so that, I mean, at the end of the day, the program does not fail? I mean, where are we going to put them? Are we going to try to quickly probably create, a camp, for them so that, it's going to be accommodated? A lot of things have to be put in place. I mean, that is what we call governance.
Yes.
So, but in a situation where you want to give a fire brigade approach to everything, it's not going to work.
Very well said, sir. Thank you so much. There's another story, too, that's come on if you take a look at all the front pages of the national dailies. The IMF saying that Nigeria is highly indebted, but still borrowing. And then we also have the federal government saying they want to borrow more monies from the IMF to tackle flooding. So this is my question, sir. When this administration came on board, it said that the economy, Nigeria was bankrupt. And so it removed fuel subsidy so that government can save more money. Over the time, over the months, over 1 year since this administration came on board, we've heard them say that government has much more money in its coffers now. What is it doing with these monies it has saved? Why is it still asking for more money from all of these foreign bodies?
Well, in the first place, I don't know why President Tinubu is borrowing money. Money. I mean, recently, I don't know how far that statement is true. It was, announced that, the former CBN governor, in person of Emefiele, returned, over 2-3 trillion money. I mean, amount of money. Well, we don't know how to really substantiate that. But notwithstanding, if IMF, as a body, is complaining that Nigeria is so much indebted and we are still indebting, we are still wanting to get more debts, we need to be very careful so that we don't just, put ourselves into a lot of problems. You see, strategically, government just need to see what they can be able to do. We have to be a manufacturing country. We have to see what we can be able to do. All this flooding of the thing, agriculture alone can do a lot of things for us. We have said it times without number that government should go into agriculture, full-fledged mechanized farming should be done. We can export a lot of agricultural products outside Nigeria that can give us foreign earnings. With that, we don't need debt. We can do a lot of things with anything that we are going to earn. But in a situation where we keep on, accumulating debts, and this debt too, personally, I cannot say this is what we are using the money for. There are invisible things that, we will, at the end of the day, they will still be telling us that we are indebted. So we need to be very careful. We need to be strategic and proactive.
All right, thank you very much, Honorable Lanre Jaji. Now, there's a rising cost in cooking gas, and government has even planning to place a ban on the export of cooking gas. Side by side that, President Tinubu has told Nigerians to either buy a fuel for 1,000 naira per litre or buy gas for 200 naira per meter. Now, so the question is, if cooking gas or gas itself, CNG or whatever we have, that will not even, most people have not converted, and people are also complaining that the test kits are quite expensive. How do we even get out of this if there's rising cost in price of gas?
Well, the point now is, in those days, I used to see gas being flared in Nigeria.
Yes.
If you are flaring gas and now you are now selling for your people at a very exorbitant price, it doesn't really work out. It doesn't really, tally. So what we are going to say now is that President Tinubu should still try and reduce the price of fuel, reduce the price of gas. I mean, if you are flaring it, I mean, why is now selling it? Now is an opportunity for you to compass this gas into a bottle. If possible, give it to our cheaper prices or cheaper rates to the people of the country. This, I mean, oil of a thing too, or fuel of a thing that we are complaining to. The case is a case of somebody that has a big cow in his house. He has slaughtered it and decided to be eating bones, left, you know, the meaty aspect of the cow, untouched. I mean, we are not supposed to be suffering for what we have. It's not supposed to be. If, you know, people really don't really get the system of governance now, they can change the style of governance. You know, I've tried a particular system and it's not working for you. Please try another one. We have a lot of highly cerebral, intelligent Nigerians that can do a lot of things, that can reason for Mr. President, that can collaborate with Mr. President to give Nigerians the best of all the best that we so much deserve. We just need to change the strategy.
Very well said. Yeah.
Before you come on, I would like to ask again, do you think Nigeria is capable, first of all, do you think Nigeria should, shall I say, transform or move from oil production to gas? And if, do you think Nigeria also is capable of being able to produce gas for, not just for consumption, but also for, not just for cooking rather, but also for vehicles? Do you think we have the capacity to do that?
We have the capacity. There is no capacity that Nigeria does not have. It is only the will without to really want to do it. The political will for the leader to really want to take a decisive decision to say, this is what I'm going to do. You know, look at what we have been talking about, you know, oil of the thing. When we had the opportunity of the oil boom, we were supposed to have diversified into a lot of, you know, things that we don't need to start depending on oil now. If guy is not taking, I mean, if oil of the thing is not well consumed, it's no more going to be consumed in the international community, where are we going to get our source of funding from? So we need to, and the time is now. It's because we are not really diverse. There is nothing Nigeria is not capable of doing, my brother. I must confess to you. It is the will or the capacity of the person in charge to be able to show his capacity that I can do this and everything is possible here.
In fact, Honorable, former President Olusegun Obasanjo has accused this administration of poor implementation of policies. But let me draw your attention to one of the headlines that's a common denominator this morning. It's about the PDP and its internal wrangling. How does the PDP stand a chance of becoming a major opposition party if it continues to fight itself?
It's not going to be possible. And that is why we are not having it good in Nigeria presently. A good political setup requires a very strong opposition that will be able to keep the government of the day running, not walking, running and jumping, you know, so that by the time you really give it to them, you can see what Line Mohammed did for PDP, I mean, when they were there.
Yeah.
You know, they gave them word for word, money for money, tackling for tackling. Nobody is doing that. That is why the government of the day is just having a free day. But in a situation where the PDP is not settled, his home is not settled, so how will they be able to concentrate and probably give a very proper, good opposition to the present government? It's not going to be possible. So the best thing for PDP is just to see a situation where they can align together, collaborate together, come together, unite together, and see what they can be able to give a very good matching opposition to this present government, so that this government of the day can sit tight and do the needful.
All right, thank you very much. I'd like to draw your attention to this one from the Vanguard. Federal government asks Supreme Court to dismiss suit seeking to declare EFCC illegal. I know about more than 20 governors in different states have taken the EFCC to court. What's your take on this? Is this even logical in the first place?
It is not. I mean, it's just like, you know, telling somebody not to touch light into what you are doing, which means your hands are not clean. So, I mean, if you know you've been doing the proper thing, there is no point asking somebody not to beam his torchlight into your activities. I mean, it's not going to be possible. I mean, Baba Obasanjo created EFCC and he has his reason for creating it. Yes, I mean, EFCC might not be performing up to expectation as at now, but I must confess to you, they are still giving the check and balances that, you know, this country really requires. If not, a lot of decadence, a lot of things will have, you know, gone down that debris that, you know, it will be irredeemable for anybody to come and, you know, take care of in future. Because in a situation where you think I'm the governor of the state, I have the ability to spend my, earnings and my, allocation from the federal government anyhow the way I so much wanted. Nobody will be such like, even when I'm in office, even after office, nobody will do anything to me. People will be reckless with spending. Thank God EFCC is there, ICPC are there. Good. I mean, they cannot be scrapped. No sensible court of law will even entertain, such, court case that, okay, go and scrap EFCC. But where? It's not possible.
Which brings me to another question. It is mind-boggling, almost like rocket science, the fact that we have an ex-governor, Yahaya Bello, still in this country, and the EFCC have not been able to arrest him. And it almost seems like he has some invincible powers that are protecting him. But what's your take on this? Why is it that he has been able to evade arrest for so long?
Well, this is Nigeria. Anything can happen. And apart from that, we have to be law-abiding citizens. We are not in Poriko or whatever, island that, that you can just do anything that you like. You must respect the rule of law. The law does not say somebody should just go there and bomb Yahaya Bello anyhow. It has processes. And I'm sure EFCC is trying to, follow those processes. It's not that EFCC is weak. I mean, it's not that the court of laws are weak. This is the country that, the rule of law must be followed. The constitution of the country must be followed. We still have some fundamental human rights as a citizen of this country, to face the court of law, the way it should be allowed, the court process and the process itself, must be allowed to really come to play. That is what is happening. It's not that Yahaya Bello is too big or is too powerful or probably some invisible hands are the one, preventing him. At the end of the day, if he has cases to answer, Yahaya Bello will still face the court of law and he will be definitely be prosecuted.
Let's push this further a little bit. Earlier on, Olumide and I were talking about former President Olusegun, those are for Olusegun Obasanjo, those that are for him and against him. Now, one of the things Olumide talked about is how the EFCC was formed. And some analysts have said that former President Olusegun Obasanjo, who formed the EFCC, did it because he wanted to witch hunt his political opponents. Would you agree with that? And would you also pass a vote of confidence on the EFCC if your answer is a no to that question?
In the first place, yes, Mr. Former President might have probably created the EFCC to tackle his political opponents and even the friends within him. I mean, for the mere fact that you are a friend to President Obasanjo does not mean that he cannot deal with you. If he wants to deal with you, he will deal with you. He has dealt with lots of people, dining with them, having dinner with them at the end of the day, telling them to resign, and he will show you your scorecard. Mr. President, if you don't resign, I mean, these are your activities that you have done wrong. The FCC will come after you. My brother, you resign quickly. That is that. Number two, I don't believe the FCC, is not doing wonderfully well. They might not have been doing perfectly well, but I must confess to you, it's a very good organization that is checkmating a lot of excesses that a lot of people will have done or committed a lot of crime that nobody will have checkmated them since. So EFCC, I have confidence in them. They can still do better. They can improve on what they are doing. For the mere fact that that former president said he probably created it to reach his enemies or whatever, what he has created is really something that we really needed now in Nigeria.
Okay.
All right. I think that's what we can take for now. Thank you very much, Honorable Lanre Jaji. It's good to have you. And, of course, we would definitely like to have you again.
It's my pleasure. God bless you for having me.